Hello, hello, and welcome to today's Unleashing the Power of Women Voices by Women Thrive event. I'm so excited to see you all here for today's incredible speaker showcase, as today is the very last speaker showcase of this season for 2024 Women Thrive Summit coming up in March. So you're in for a treat today because we are spotlighting 11 of our 50 incredible speakers from the Women Thrive Summit, and I know you're in for a treat. This is going to be a truly inspirational event where you get to connect with our amazing speakers from the Women Thrive Summit. If we haven't met yet, my name is Ramonda Jan, and I am the founder of the Women Thrive Media. Today, we're going to be spotlighting these incredible speakers from all around the world. So make sure you stick around for entire event. Make sure you build those beautiful connections throughout today's showcase. And of course, leave comments in the chat. Let us know where in the world you are joining from. The Speaker Showcase event has been designed to inspire, empower you, and create a positive impact in the world. At Women Thrive Media, we've been hosting virtual summits since 2020, since we have had to pivot our events from live events to virtual events. And today, up to date, we have hosted hundreds of speakers on our platform, as well as reached thousands of attendees. And I'm proud to say that our platform is one of the biggest women empowerment stages in the world. I'm excited because I know through the power of these events, we create ripple effect in the world. We create life-changing opportunities for everyone to connect, to be inspired, to pursue their dreams. And what a better way to do that than connect with other like-minded people. Hello, hello. Lovely to see you all here. Make sure you leave a comment. Let us know where you're watching us from. And as well, make sure you stream it to your own social media platforms or share it to your social media friends. Now, as we begin today's event, it is all about unleashing our voices. And I know what it's like not to have a voice. I know what it's like to struggle with confidence. I know what it's like to be silenced. I know what it's like to question yourself. Am I good enough? Because all of these things I've struggled myself, and I've met many, many other people who have struggled with that too. So, my goal with Women Thrive, with our stage, with our community, is to create a safe space where all of us can have a voice, where we can have a platform to share a message, make an impact, create life changing results. So let me know where in the world you are joining us from. I'd love to see you in a chat. Introduce yourself. This is such an incredible opportunity to network with other like-minded entrepreneurs, businesswomen, other people who are in our community, and of course, make these life-changing connections. Now, if you've never connected with us before, you've never been at the Women Thrive Summit, this is our annual event that we host every third week in March. And this is a whole 1 week live virtual event where you can be part of this incredible celebration, attend all of these incredible talks by our amazing speakers. During the Women Thrive Summit, we have a holistic approach to business and life. That means that we cover business topics as well as entrepreneurship. We talk about mindset. We talk about leadership. We even talk about love and relationships, financial education. We talk about confidence building, having your voice, social media, visibility, because I believe that there is no way we can build successful businesses if we don't look at our lives from the holistic lens. And as we started off this morning as well, I thought, what could I impart my audience with today? Now, I know you're going to be hearing from our inspirational speaker throughout this event. But for me, what I wanted to say to you, that you don't have to ask permission to shine. I want you to remember that each and every one of you have been born with gifts, with talents, with vision, with ideas, with something unique that only you have. And I want you to remember that you don't have to ask for permission slip to speak up, to share your voice on any platform, to show up or to shine bright, because there is no other person who can do the job that you're doing right now. So I want you to be inspired. I want you to be empowered and know that you have something truly magical to bring into this world. This morning, we also talked about unmasking ourselves because when we wear masks, we're really closing ourselves off to potential opportunities and we're closing ourselves from being authentic selves. So, I always say when women join our community, when they are part of our speakers network, when they're part of our events, is to say, let's take off our masks. Let's connect on a deeper level. Let's make more meaningful conversations. Let's make more meaningful connections with each other. And I believe that when we take off our masks, this is a way for us to build much deeper and authentic connections, not only to others, but also to ourselves. Because the biggest relationship, the most important relationship that you can ever have, first of all, is the one that you can have with yourself. So don't go around the world wearing a mask, trying to pretend to be somebody when actually all you have to do is embrace your authentic self. And I want to remind you that that is enough. Whatever you bring into this world is enough. So I want you to look in the mirror and say, I am enough. I have magic to bring into this world and I matter because I believe that every single woman matters and every single one of us have something magical to bring into this world. So I have an honor of hosting so many amazing speakers on our platform and of course doing the work that we're doing to empower, inspire and impact the lives of others. Now, I know we are gearing up for our speakers lineup in just a moment, but I want to see you in the chat. And I see some of you are joining from all over the world, and I can see some of our speakers joining from United States, United Kingdom, Australia, and different parts of the world. So make sure you keep those comments coming in the chat. We want to see where you're joining us from. Myself, I am based in sunny Spain and certainly warm here now. And I love when we get to transform ourselves to other parts of the world and be able to do these kind of events virtually because we get to build connections with people all around the world. And what a better way to do that than be attending events like this, be participating at events like Women Thrive Summit and meeting people from all around the world. So I'm super proud to bring on some of our speakers today. You're going to be hearing from 11 speakers. So do make sure you stick around if you can. Share this to your social media followers and let us know you're watching because we can't see everyone who's watching right now unless we see you in the comments because we're currently streaming to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and other people's Facebooks as well. So I know there's lots of people watching from all around the world, but the only way for us to know that you're here is if you leave a comment and also celebrate the speakers because I tell you, it is not an easy thing to get up on stage and share your story and do this work that we're doing, but only because we are encouraged by our viewers, by the people who are participating, who are taking in all of this inspirational content. We get to do this and we get to see the ripple effect of our work. Now, I want to invite our first speaker in just a moment. And I think that you're going to be really excited to get to know her as well. Now, if you have subscribed to the Women Thrive magazine, which I have right behind me, you would probably know that this next speaker is actually on the cover of the Women Thrive magazine of February's issue. Yes, it is Veronica Whedon indeed, and she is the first one that is going to be headlining our Women Thrive showcase. So get ready for some inspiration, motivation, and transformational talks that we've got lined up for you today. And if you have not subscribed to the Women Thrive magazine yet, this is the time to do that because our amazing special issue for the Women Thrive magazine March is going to be featuring all of our amazing speakers, nuggets of wisdom, and we're talking about women owning our voice. And I know that this issue is going to be a special one and it's going out in a post already. So make sure you head over to womenthrive.magazine.com and get your print copy of the Women Thrive magazine. Now, without further ado, I want to invite Veronica to join us on stage and introduce her to all of you watching right now. So Veronica Whedon is health and relationship coach who helps people attract healthier relationships to improve the quality of their life by addressing health on an emotional, mental, and physical level. Veronica, good to see you.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Where are you joining us from today?
I'm in Zurich in Switzerland.
Beautiful. How do you feel being a cover girl for this Most
So
magazine?
exciting. It's really exciting. It looks so cool. I'm very proud. Yeah, super
When I saw it, I was like,
exciting.
that is a power pose. I don't know if this isn't a power pose, what is?
Yeah, I love it. It looks great. And I'm so grateful to Women Thrive and to you and for making that happen. And it's such an honor and very exciting indeed.
Yeah, and I think that's why the editor chose this cover. I was like, this is a striking pose. This is certainly a striking picture that you've got there. So thank you so much for contributing to our platform, to our magazine. And we want to hear from you what you've got for our audience today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for that introduction. So again, I'm Veronica Whedon, the founder of Revival Health, and I am excited to be talking to you on Thursday, the 21st of March at the Women Thrive Summit at 3 p.m. Central European Time about how to attract healthier relationships. And the reason I'm passionate about this subject is because I believe that it's everybody's birthright to experience healthy and happy relationships. Now, my approach is a little bit unique to the subject because I link health and relationships together because I believe they're intricately connected and that the one can give us a lot of information about the other. By qualification, I am, as Ramonda mentioned, an integrative health coach. I'm an RTT hypnotherapist, and I write a lot about the subject. And the reason I approach the subject of relationships the way I do is because I myself spent the most of my life in very unhealthy relationships, only I didn't know it at the time. I knew that I was unhappy and that I kept trying to fix things and make them work and make things better and believing that they could get better and that they should get better, but they never did. And that led me to a lot of negative feelings and thoughts that led me in a direction or essentially a downward spiral. My health suffered a lot as well, and not just my physical health, it was my emotional and my mental health. And I didn't really understand why. Excuse me. And I certainly didn't understand the connection between it all. And that only came about when I really did hit rock bottom in life. And I had to make a change because I couldn't keep living the way I was living. It just wasn't working. And I had these feelings of, why isn't it working? Don't I deserve it? Am I not enough? Did I do, what have I done wrong? And there's all this negative self-talk and self-blame and confusion and frustration and bitterness and anger and just a whole host of negative emotions that came about. And it wasn't until I made a decision firmly that I needed to change something. I needed to do something different because what I was doing until that point simply wasn't working. And that's what started my own self-improvement and self-evolution journey to better health and better relationships, healthier and happier relationships. Now, I'm also not going to sit here and tell you that I have the perfect life and the perfect relationships. I'm not married. I'm 43 and I am in a relationship. So I'm not single, but I'm not married. I've never been married. I also don't have children. But I'm here to tell you about the evolution, or not to tell you, to share with you all my lessons over the past 4 to 5 years as I've spent the better part of these 4 or 5 years really investing in myself and learning why things went so wrong and why I wasn't in the situation that I really desired to be in, and how I could, and sort of the key knowledge pieces and strategies and techniques to help me get to where I am today, which is in much healthier, much happier relationships. Not perfect by any means, and we can have a long debate about if perfect even exists or what that is. If perfect for one is not going to be perfect for the next. But it's about a journey of self-improvement and getting from a really, really negative, unhealthy place to a place in life where I am much healthier emotionally, mentally, and physically, and therefore also enjoying much healthier and happier relationships, because our external world is a reflection of our internal world. This is one thing that I've learned. And it's about changing our thoughts too. And that's an easy thing to say and a very simple concept, but actually a very difficult thing to do. And yet we cannot go to a new future by holding on to thoughts and emotions of the past. And this is something that I've spent a lot of time thinking about and implementing and learning. And I'm so excited to share a lot of this insight and lessons with you at the Women Thrive Talk. So I'm very conscious of time, and I think my time is just about up. So once again, if you have been struggling with relationships or don't really understand what's going on or keep ending up in the same situation, but you want something better for yourself, then please join my talk. I'd be so excited to have you there. And can't wait to share the lessons learned with you. Again, it'll be on Thursday, the 21st of March at 3 p.m. Central European Time on how to attract happier relationships.
Yes, Veronica. And I mentioned earlier today, well, in this conversation, that our relationships truly starts with ourselves. And I know your story is one of really discovering your relationship with yourself and your health before you could attract healthy and beautiful relationships in your own life.
Absolutely. It's all about raising our vibrations and our frequency, which is something I talk a lot about as well.
Yeah. What are you excited about for the summit?
I'm just excited to really share this information and the knowledge and the lessons learned, because I genuinely believe that it's everyone's right to enjoy and experience happy, healthier relationships, and so many people don't, and we get stuck in relationships. I mean, I was there. I know you've been there too. We get stuck in relationships because we feel, change is hard. And as humans, we're wired to dislike change. We like predictable, we don't like change. And it's really about making the unfamiliar familiar and becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable, if that makes sense. And it's a journey, but there are a lot of insights and knowledge and lessons that can be shared to make that journey a lot smoother than it was for me.
And sometimes it just takes being brave and trusting ourselves, which is, the premise of Women Thrive communities, to really empower women with knowledge and self-confidence to thrive in life on our own without having to rely on anything. And I think your talk really lends itself to that premise.
Thank you. I'm excited for it.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Veronica, for sharing your insights with us. We can't wait to see you at the Women Thrive Summit.
Thank you.
Wow. So this was Veronica. Make sure you do connect with her on her social media channels. I'd love for her to also share links in the comments below to let our audience know how to connect with her. And do make sure you leave a comment as you're watching how to connect with you as well, because some of our speakers might love to connect with you back. All right. We are headed to the UK, and we're having next speaker, who is Hannah Roper. And she is a multi-talented entrepreneur, country music singer, and a founder of Country on the Coast Festival. She is the visionary founder and driving force behind the Female Creative, a thriving community empowering women in their pursuit of work-life balance and business success. Hannah, hello, welcome.
Hello, good evening.
Good to see you. Where are you joining us from?
So I am in southern England. I'm in a place called Portsmouth, which is pretty much as far south and as far central as you can get before you then hit the water. And I'm loving that in the comments, we've got people from all over the world.
Yeah, we're excited to hear you. And Hannah, you have pretty incredible story, not only in business and your professional life, but also creating these amazing festivals for country music. So we look forward to hearing what you got to share with us today. And I'll see you in just a few minutes.
Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who is joining us this evening from wherever you are. My name is Hannah Roper. I am the founder of the Female Creative and Country on the Coast Festival. And I am going to be speaking at the Women Thrive Summit on the 22nd, which is Friday at 12 p.m. And I am going to be talking to everyone about taking you from confusion to clarity and the journey of self-validation and the power that sits behind that. But if I can almost take you back a little bit to almost the beginning of my story I've had such a varied career history. I've been able to do so many incredible things. I've been in learning and development for over 20 years now, coaching and supporting people in all different arenas and all different spaces and in different countries as well. But as Ray said, I've got a story to tell behind that, because what people see today is not who I was even just 5 years ago. I've been on an incredible journey. And if I kind of take you back a little bit, one of the light bulb moments that I had, and it was about a year ago, is that my self-worth was wrapped up in other people's opinions. Growing up the way that I did in the UK, a child of the 80s, we were very much thrown into a world of comparison. We were compared with our siblings, with our family members at school, then into the world of work, in the world of business, even today. So much is around us that gives us that space to compare ourselves with other people. And I had this light bulb moment around a year ago when I realized that actually there was a real power within me to be able to self-validate myself, to have an inner dialogue that gave me the power to step into a space that enabled me to fulfill my dreams and create my own version of success. Now, I am around 10 years ago now, I stepped away from a very, very toxic relationship. I would call myself a survivor of domestic abuse. And that was almost the beginning of the journey that I am on today, because I was in a period of such low self-esteem. I had no self-worth. It was all wrapped up in what other people thought about me. And in some ways, I was handing my power over to other people and enabling them to almost create this narrative that I then took on as my own. And on this journey that I've been on over the last 10 years, as I've started to step into various spaces, one of which was I created a country music singer-songwriter career. So I perform under the name Lily Garland, and I created this whole persona. I learned all about marketing. I learned about website design. I learned about event planning, and just taught myself, and found that when I stepped into that space and I stopped listening to people that told me that I couldn't do it. I was too British to be a country music artist. I was too old. I should be single. I can't tell people that I'm in a relationship because they won't buy my records. All of this dialogue around. And I realized that if I actually stepped into a place of power and almost put a force field around me and validated myself, was I coming from a place of love? Absolutely. Was I doing something to fulfill a dream? Absolutely. Were my intentions the best? Absolutely. And that really gave me a feeling of power to then pursue various other avenues. One of those was creating my own country music festival. I'd never created a music festival in my entire life, but that didn't stop me, because I thought, hang on a second. Am I coming from a place of love? Am I coming from the right motivation? Yes, I want to create a community for country music fans in the south of England. I put a country music festival on a pier. It was never heard of before. And that is because I stopped listening to people who told me that I couldn't do it. I dug deep inside and I started to validate myself. I've changed careers. I was an operational police officer for 13 years. And that's a really hard role to walk away from. But I did it. I moved. I changed. I stepped into my power. I didn't listen to what other people were telling me that I couldn't do it. And I took it anyway. I made that leap and I made that choice to keep following my desires and my dreams. And it was the same when I started a business. I hadn't studied business since A level, which is around 17, 18 years old, and is nothing like businesses in reality. And there was those little voices telling me, you can't start a business. You're too busy. You don't know what you're talking about. And I created the Female Creative, and I stand here today in front of an international audience sharing my story, but more importantly, creating a safe space for women to ride the highs and lows of running a business, helping them strip away the noise and helping them realize the power that they have within them to define their own version of success. And I cannot wait to talk more in detail about all of this at the Women Thrive Summit, because I've got some incredible tips, actionable tips that you can take away after my talk to really get on your journey to the power of self-validation. And had I not discovered this and built these tools, I would not be where I am today. And I am being, I have so many incredible opportunities. The Country Music Festival is coming up again. I'm on a board of directors for an inspirational women's award ceremony in my local area. And I've got my dream role, which is being a country music radio host on a local radio station. And that's all because I learned the power of self-validation, that as long as I'm coming from the right place, as long as my motivation is right and I'm doing things with love, then I'm unstoppable. And I cannot wait to share these tips, share these actionable activities to help other women step into that space and into that power as well. So I will be talking, as I said, on the 22nd, which is the Friday. And I remember that because it's my husband's birthday, because I'm not very good with dates. And I'll be talking at 12 p.m. And I really, really do hope that you join me for my talk, which is From Confusion to Clarity, the Power of Self-Validation. So thank you so, so much for everyone for listening today.
Oh, Hannah, you're such a powerhouse woman, and it just blows me away the number of hats that you're wearing and the pursuits that you have in life. I honestly just celebrate you for being all that you are and not allowing anything stop you, whether it be it's your own mindset or judgment of other people. Who are you to do all of these things? And there you are, just pursuing all of these passions that you have in businesses and professional career, and just paving the way and showing to women, hey, look, all of that is possible. And yet you're also a wife and a mother, which is amazing. How do you do it all?
Well, and this is one of the things that people ask me, and my friends, they do joke. They say that I'm made in a lab, and I'm not. I'm human, and I drop the ball sometimes, and I forget things. But for me, it's all about learning how to prioritize. And again, forgive yourself. You can't wear all the hats at the same time. So you have to make that choice. And I think when I realized that that choice was in my power and was in my ability to move between wearing various hats, but being kind to myself when I did have to prioritize family over business, which is what I had to do last year, or when I have to concentrate more on the Country Music Festival and not so much on the Female Creative. In the early days, I would beat myself up so much that I wasn't managing to keep everything juggling. But now, learning that I can be kind to myself and just move between these incredible opportunities, and that's what I want to keep sharing with everyone. It is possible to do all the things, but as Oprah Winfrey says, just maybe not all at the same time.
Yeah, amazing. Hannah, such a pleasure and honor to have you on our platform. And thanks so much for doing everything that you do and sharing with others just what is possible for other women to do in their lives.
Thank you so, so much.
Thanks, Hannah. Wow. And this is just a little snippet of what you're going to be experiencing for the week of March 18th to the 22nd. So I highly encourage you to make some space in your diary for that week to join some of these amazing speakers as they share their talks, their presentations, workshops. So much value, so many opportunities to connect, grow your businesses, and elevate yourself on a personal and business level. Now, next up, I have another amazing speaker joining us today, who is Dawn Gayden, who is the CEO of Mind Body Counseling and Coaching, PLLC, licensed professional counselor, yoga teacher, mindset expert, and self-image coach. International speaker and 3 times best-selling author, Dawn is a powerhouse in the field of personal empowerment. She is internationally known for igniting positive change. Dawn, I just love your energy and any time we get to connect.
I love it. I love connecting with you. You help. You bring the energy too. So it's so fun to be in the room with people who also lift each other up. So thank you.
Yeah, we certainly share that passion and mission in life. So, Dawn, can't wait to hear what you get to share with us today. Because every time I get to hear you, I'm like, I'm inspired. So, it's over to you, my love.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Amazing speakers so far, right? Exciting. Well, today I want to share with you a little bit about my story and how I have gotten here today. So I was 39 when I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. It's a blood cancer. And as my doctor said to me, it's an old person's disease. And I thought, I'm 39. I'm just beginning my life with my family and my kids and my career. And I have an old person's disease? Are you kidding? What happened? How did I get here? I thought I had it all figured out. Everything was going according to plan, right? I was in control, I thought. And I really did have a life I was creating for myself. I put myself through college. I came from a family, blue-collar family, so college was not a priority and didn't have a lot of guidance. My family just didn't know how to get to college, so I took care of that myself. I got myself into college, got myself through graduate school. I'm a licensed counselor, creating my business. I'm raising my kids. I'm married. Everything as it was intended to be, just what I wanted. But life wasn't perfect, right? Nobody has a perfect life, as, oh, someone said earlier, like, let's debate perfect, right? I think it was Veronica said that. Life is not perfect. I had challenges. I have 4 amazing boys. I had 2 children, 2 boys. I had 2 miscarriages. And then my last pregnancy was with twins. And that pregnancy came with a very rare condition that threatened the lives of my twins every day. So now they're 18, they're beautiful, and my older 2 boys are 23 and 22. Even when my husband got laid off from his job, I rose to the occasion, get the job, save the day, throw that superhero cape on, take charge. Isn't that what us powerful women do? To risk it all, and we take charge, right? We jump in, right? So I thought I was in control. I was doing exactly what needed to get done. But I wasn't in control. I was stuck. I found myself what I call this pit of despair. I was overwhelmed. I felt useless. I was hopeless. And I found myself wanting to escape my life. So it was a very cold, dark, rainy day. And you couldn't have painted a better picture like this. I didn't make this up for a movie screen. It was actually a really dark, rainy, cold day. And it feels like it was yesterday. And I was driving to work, gripping the steering wheel, crying, thinking, I should just keep driving, just leave, disappear. I'm no good to anybody anymore. I can't be the mom I want to be. I have nothing left to give. I'm done. I'm worn out. And it was like someone shook me. Wake up, Dawn. There has to be another way. Has to be another way. You see, I always see possibility. That's like a gift I have. That's my superpower. I always see possibility. That's why I think my clients are so successful and why my work is so successful, because I help them see and create their amazing life. There's always possibility. And so for me in that moment, I knew there had to be something else. There had to be something else. And I know you're probably thinking that that low point came for me with that cancer diagnosis. But really, my low point was the day I wanted to escape my life and leave my family. That's like a gut-wrenching pain. If you ever feel like you've been to that low of just wanting to give up, it's a painful place to be. Cancer was actually my wake-up call. Cancer helped me wake up and claim my life again. It was that opportunity for me to throw the cape away. I talk about throwing the cape away, and I could spread my wings and actually take charge of my life again. Because I wouldn't have quit that job on my own. I was feeding the family. Food was on the table, paying the bills, taking care of the home that we built for our 4 children. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have given that up. So I was able to take this opportunity to shift, to make that shift. I listened to that call and I woke up and I stayed tuned in. And that's what I teach in my program and what I've done for 20 some years, teaching my clients on how to really wake up to their worthiness, wake up to the joy in your life, wake up to your confidence, wake up and consciously create your life, and don't sleepwalk. I was sleepwalking through my life. I was going through the motions, get the job, take care of the family, save the day. I was depleted. You wear out, you burn out, you run out. And so I was able to wake up, and I teach my clients how to wake up and really create the life that they desire. And I'm really excited about sharing all these golden nuggets that I have for all of you at the summit. I'll be speaking on March 20th. My talk is Unlock the Power of a Positive Self-Image and Redefine Your Worthiness. You define who you're going to be. You define what your life looks like, moment by moment, day by day, just like I did. It's a powerful practice, and I'm here to teach you how to do that, one step at a time. So my website, dawngaden.com, which is on the screen, I have a free gift there for you, a little bit about what I do. So please sign up, grab your free gift. It's called Unleash More Joy in Just 3 minutes. So I look forward to seeing you at the summit, March 20th. Starts March 18th, though. I'll be speaking March 20th. So definitely sign up. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Dawn, thank you. What a powerful, beautiful, and inspirational story, and how much you have overcome, how far you have come in your life. And now you get to share your testimony of overcoming your own adversity and showing other women what is possible. So I celebrate you, I honor you, and I'm so glad that you're here with us to share, to be the inspiration for other people. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. So good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. Wow, that's amazing. I hope you're feeling inspired, because I am. I'm nearly tearing up hearing these women's stories. They are so heartwarming, so soul touching, and truly inspirational. So please do make sure you connect with our speakers across their social media channels, their websites, connect with them here, tell them, give them the flowers to say they are inspiring, they are making difference, because truly to be so vulnerable and open to share such personal things on a global stage like this, it's not an easy thing. And I want to celebrate every single woman who is here today to share their stories in name of service, of supporting other people. So please make sure that you give their flowers to our incredible speakers. Next up, we just had a wonderful conversation with our next speaker on our social media live, as we're starting our social media live interviews with our speakers. Next up, I have 𝐷 Dyer, who is a nonfiction book coach, ghostwriter with a proven method for helping entrepreneurs to write, publish books that hit bestseller lists and even 5-star reviews on Amazon. 𝐷, good to see you again.
It's so good to see you. We were just chatting a few minutes ago.
And can I just say, 𝐷 made me revisit my old book manuscript and recommit to publishing an old book that was collecting dust in my drive. So 𝐷, thank you. This is truly what you do. So please, over to you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. And yes, as Raymonda said, I'm 𝐷 Dyer. I am a nonfiction book coach and a ghostwriter. And on March 22nd is when my presentation will be. It's at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it's called the Plan Well, Write Fast Book Writing Workshop. And I'm really excited to present it, because it really is going to be a hands-on, I have a workbook that you can download ahead of time. You'll find the link to it when you sign up for my talk. You can download that ahead of time, print it out, and then we're going to get to work. We're going to go through all the planning stages of your book, how to capture your message, narrow down your ideas, going through the outlining stage, taking you right through all my best writing tips, all the way through to the self-edit with a checklist in there for getting through that self-editing stage to prepare your manuscript for publication. And we'll also talk about some of the options that you have to publish. And what I mostly teach and coach on is self-publishing. So indie publishing on places like Amazon, where you can, once you have your book written and you have your cover art and you have all those great things, then you simply upload a file to Amazon and your book is available for sale globally. So that's what we're going to be talking about in the workshop. I was just listening to Dawn speaking just now and all of the stories this morning, Hannah. And one of the things that I don't talk about very much about myself personally is the fact that I am a single mother. And one of the reasons I am so passionate about what I do is because it all boils down to this idea that we get to create our own lives. And I know that that's a very difficult thing for us to really just wrap our minds around. We're often, society really tells us what we should do and what we should be. And there's all of these notions about, well, you need to get a 9-to-5 job. And we worry about quitting the job to run our own business, or just all these things that go through our minds when we're trying to just get through the day-to-day, pay the bills, hopefully save a little bit, take care of our children. We can really get lost in that. And it takes a lot of, I think, courage and just understanding that it is possible for us to design our own lives. And I actually had a very similar experience to Dawn's after my divorce, after I was separated. And I was living in a little cottage with my kids who were quite young at the time. I think my youngest was 4 years old. And just getting to that point, we were in the very messy stages of, the separation. My ex-husband and I are very good friends to this day, but in this time, it was not a happy place for us. And I remember driving down a country road, just thinking to myself, I just want to drive away from all of this. I'm never going to get on my feet again. I'm always going to be stuck in this rut. I have so many limitations on my time. I have so many financial worries. I have my 2 little ones to take care of now by myself. And there was all this, everything just felt hopeless in that moment. And I remember just driving my car, just like Dawn, thinking, I would love to just sail away. And that's kind of when, the universe or my stoicism or whatever slapped me in the face. And it was like, all right, that's it. You hit rock bottom. That's great. Now it's time to get yourself out of this mode. Like life is so much better. Remember years ago when you had all those hopes and dreams, when you were just, 20-something years old and you were going to be a writer and you were going to travel and you were going to do all these amazing things. You can still do those things. It's time to go back and open that box up again where you stuffed all of your hopes and dreams and you stuffed all your ambitions and all of the things that you thought that you would do with your life, and open that box and let those dreams fly again. And that's where I thought, I'm never going to get in this position again where I feel like I have no choice. I get to design my own life and I'm going to do that. And that's when I at that point, I was still freelance writing for magazines. I thought, I'm a businesswoman. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to use the power of my pen to help other women design their own lives too. So that no matter what schedule they need to work around so that they can raise their children, for me, going on and getting a 9-to-5 job was not an option. It just wasn't possible. I needed to raise my little ones. I needed to be there for them. And that kind of a schedule just wouldn't work for us. I didn't want to be putting them in childcare. I couldn't afford that at the time. So I launched my business and I went all in. And this is kind of how I really honed my passion for helping other entrepreneurs design their own lives using my abilities to write their stories and help them share their stories in marketing format in all kinds of different ways that we can use our words to market our businesses and grow. And everything has kind of culminated in books for me now. And that's what I help. That is what I help women do now, is write their stories, capture their legacy of knowledge, capture everything that they have learned and experienced and all of the wisdom that they have in a book that they can then publish then leads to speaking engagements if that's what they would like. They can use their book to get media attention, go on podcast interviews. They can use their books to grow their email subscriber base, which is a real business asset that has monetary value. They can use their books to attract clients into their online courses, coaching programs, other products and services. And they can use their book to help them scale and design their own life, their own business, and use that book to get them there. So that's where we start. We're going to start at the workshop with defining your goals. Where do you want to be on the back end of this book? 5 years from now, your book is published. What does your life look like? And then we're going to figure out how to plan a book that's going to actually take you there. So I'm so excited. Again, my talk is on March 27th or 22nd. That's the Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I hope to see you there. I'm so excited to be able to deliver the workshop to you.
Yeah, and I could see the excitement in the chat, and Lady's like, I don't want to miss it. Let me know what time it is and when is it. So it is on Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific. So make sure you save your spot. And of course, there's a whole lot of different time zones we're working through, as our speakers are from all around the world, from Australia, Europe, UK, Canada, like yourself, Adrienne, as well as ladies in the United States and the Caribbean, Africa. So yeah, it's going to be an incredible event. And Adrienne, thank you so much for sharing the story. And it's really inspiring. Just, the decisions that you made in your own life to pursue your dreams. It's truly inspiring. And now you get to support others in pursuit of their dreams.
It is a wonderful thing to be able to do. I think about that every day. Thanks, Ramonda.
Yeah, and you certainly, like I said, inspired me to dust off the old manuscript and revisit it again. So if you have... If any of you have a book dream or you have an old manuscript that is collecting dust, get in touch with Adrienne. She might just inspire you to pick it up again and become a bestseller.
Yes, you can do it.
Yeah, thanks, Adrienne. Good to see
you.
Wow, just as you see, this is just a snippet of what you're going to experience at the Women Thrive Summit. It is a whole 1 week long event, and it's going to be running live virtually, which means you can join from anywhere in the world. We are streaming this event live, which means you get to connect with our speakers. You get to ask them questions. You'll get to network with fellow attendees of this event. And at this event, you can expect to see many other business owners, entrepreneurs, founders, leaders, women who have been in the corporate, mothers, women who are trailblazers, successful 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs, and so much in every single talk that you're going to walk away with so much value. And everyone actually have prepared their own wonderful gifts for all of you. So that means you'll get to access some of their free resources, whether you want to write a book, whether you want to heal your relationship, whether you want to find success, whether you want to plan your finances, or actually host a podcast, which is what we're going to be speaking about next. Now, my next guest, I am excited for you to meet her, is Gabby Garland. Gabby is the CEO of Resilient Heart and Resilient Voice Media, who helps women heal and step out their old stories and into their authentic self so they can amplify their message through the power of podcasting. Gabby, I know you're busy out there doing incredible things in the world, but you get to join us. Where are you joining us from today?
I am actually in San Diego. I'm hosting a women's retreat on the beach in San Diego. And so you text me this morning, you were like, can you hop on? I'm like, I'm gonna have to comb my hair and try to get myself together. So one, I apologize. Normally I'm a little more polished when I do any of these things, but it's also really exciting to get to be a part of this event. I speak on March the 21st. So to give you a little bit of backstory about how podcasting became my world, for those of you that are mothers that didn't get to experience postpartum depression, I am so grateful for that. Unfortunately, that was not my life. We lost a baby in about 4 months after we got married, and then that thrust me into postpartum depression. I got pregnant again. We had a little boy. Super excited. Life was great. We're like living the dream, and we found out he was born with a heart condition that would require surgeries in a series throughout his life. And so we really didn't know what his life would look like, what his quality of life would be. And it was just a really scary, really dark time as a mother. And it was around that time I found podcasting. It was one of those things that I just needed. I was quarantined. We had to do a lot of quarantine because of his surgeries. And I was very isolated from the world around me, but I wanted to be connected. And so I happened on podcasting. I ended up launching the Resilient Heart podcast in August of 2020, and it has absolutely changed my life. It's kind of an interesting thing because I'm doing this women's healing retreat because I'm Reiki, hypnosis, and NLP certified. So I do a lot of healing work with women as an intuitive. That work led me to launching a podcast production company, because what I learned was we're always told we don't talk about the things that we've been through. And what I learned in my darkest seasons is how much of what I had been through, one, connected me to a community of women that I got to help work with, lean into them, they're leaning into me, and work with them as clients. But it also became a community I created, and it was all based around my podcast. I was never one of those people that had lead funnels and lead generations and all of those different things, because my podcast was a constant stream of income and new clients coming into my world and my life that would just find me. And so I'm really excited, one, to talk about how to do that, because I think a lot of times people think, I don't have enough people on my social media to launch a podcast. I don't know who's going to listen. I'm going to spend this money, I'm going to make this investment, and then what happens then? And what happened for me with the launch of Resilient Heart, I had just around 1,000 people total. That is combined social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, all of it. And my podcast went 111 launch weekend on Apple Podcasts. And so I love the part of the launch process that we get to do, because we work with more people that don't have a bazillion followers, that haven't had that opportunity to be on those bigger stages. And so often people shy away from a podcast or speaking engagements or different things because they think, I don't have enough people that would listen to me. I'm not there yet, but the podcast is what got me there. And so I'm going to be sharing 5 tangible steps to help you curate your message and your story to not only build community, but build authority. One of the things that I love that the lady right before mentioned, how books can be utilized and expanded in all sorts of ways for you to take one particular topic, one particular piece of content, and put it into so many different platforms to grow your reach in all different ways. Because as we know, social media changes all the time. So you're going to want long form content, short form content, Reels, TikToks, LinkedIn, carousels, and different articles. Like every platform needs a different look to it with the same content. You can take one piece of content, repurpose it, and put it in all these different platforms. One, it helps make it so much easier. It has been the biggest gift of my life, and it's always hard to kind of put it into words. One of the clients that's actually here with us this weekend, I launched a podcast, rebranded and relaunched a podcast for her about 2 years ago. And her podcast, the first one was like 58 downloads in, about 14 months, I want to say it was. I'll have to remember now. It's been a little while. But they had 58 downloads. Their launch month, we basically kind of ripped it all apart, did all the things, put it all back together. And their first month, they had almost 700 downloads that first month. And so what I love to do is I tell everybody all the time, everybody you're going to meet is a healer, a business coach, an author, a podcast producer, a blah, blah, blah. Like everybody is you're going to walk into a room, you're going to meet somebody that does what you do. The difference is your story. And so being able to help people take a really powerful story, amplify that message, connect with the woman or the man that you're meant to serve, and to be able to show up in a way that, one, is authentic to who you are, 2, builds a community, and 3, gives you a place for people to just pour in and you be able to pour into them. And it ends up being this consistent stream of income, this consistent stream of whether it's clients, advertising, different monetization platforms. We're going to talk about all of those things on my talk on the 21st at, I believe it's at 12 o'clock. I'll have to double check. But I'm so excited for this. And also reach out to me as well. I will put my email in the chat box. If you are looking to get on podcasts, our clients are consistently looking for really incredible women. And if you know, oh my gosh, I have a message, but I don't have a podcast yet, let's get you on a podcast. You can get used to doing it. And then when you decide you want to do it, I would absolutely love to help you. We have so much fun, and we have such a beautiful team that really cares about the work that you guys are doing and how to make the best message possible so that you can amplify your voice in the way that you want. So I'm so excited to be part of this event. Thank you so much for having me. And if I can help with anything, please let me know.
Gabby, you're such a powerhouse, such a beautiful soul. I'm so excited, honored to have you on our stage, and it's a
No, me
wonderful
too.
topic you're speaking on.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Oh, thank you. I hope your retreat goes incredibly well. I'm sure you're
Thank
transforming
you.
lives there on the ground. How are you
Thank
enjoying it?
I'm having so much fun. They two of my VIP girls got here last night, and the other girl got here this morning. So now I'm coordinating with the makeup girl because we're going to a really beautiful dinner tonight. So our makeup lady's coming to do the makeup for the VIPs, and then we're heading out to just one thing I learned about the retreats and why I started doing them was how often us as women, we don't ever take the time to stop doing all the things we do as parents, as providers, as all of the hats that we wear. And so this retreat is like, you don't got to do nothing. You just got to show up and be beautiful and have fun and heal and have an amazing time. So it's been a really good time.
Thank you, Gabby. Well, go ahead and
Thank
enjoy
you.
yourself. Sending you my
I
love. Thank you
will.
for sharing your wonderful story with us
Thank you
today.
so much. Bye, ladies.
Make sure you drop your information, Gab, because I have seen that some people wanting to connect with you. And if you're watching this right now, also drop your Instagram handles. Let us know where you're watching us from so our speakers can also connect with you back. I know that in March we're going to be meeting again for this incredible event, but why not already start following each other, supporting each other? We have wonderful community. So when you sign up for the summit, you'll also be invited to a private community where you can start building connections. And we have nearly 1,000 women in there. So you never know who you could connect with in our community. So good to see your Instagram handles popping up right now in the chat. So keep them coming. All right. Next up, I am excited as we headed over to back to United States. And my next guest is 𝐩𝐶, who is multi-certified business and success mentor on a mission to assist female entrepreneurs and high achievers in amplifying their voice, igniting their fire, and breaking through societal conditioning to become unapologetically empowered. 𝐩𝐶, always a pleasure to see you. We gotta unmute you, my love.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. I put myself on mute not to disturb any of the other speakers, and then you forget. But I'm so
No,
excited
you
to
wouldn't.
be here.
Would we able to maybe bring your microphone a little bit closer just so we can hear you a little bit better?
Is this better?
Yes, that is better. Well, over to you, my love. I can't wait to hear what you got to share for us.
Thank you. Again, I'm 𝐩𝐶, a business and success mentor who works out of the US, but is a global brand. And today, what I'm really excited to share with everybody, especially if you're female, if you understand that there is so much more to you than you've allowed out, that you've allowed yourself to put out into the world. My talk on March 21st at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is for you. I am talking about shattering the glass ceiling of the good girl mentality to help you grow and scale financially. And specifically, it is this good girl mentality that holds so many of us back. Gabby just alluded to it, partly talking about the guilt we feel as females. We hold ourselves back. We don't even put ourselves on the to-do list. If you were to ask any female right now, what do you have going on today? Who are you supporting? Their list is probably 100 bullet points long, but not one bullet point will be about themselves. We need to change that, not only for us, but for the generations to come. During my talk, not only will I be talking about ways that we can shift it, but I'm going to be giving you an experience, a hypnotic experience, to be exact. We're going to be talking to the subconscious mind because that, my friends, is where your true identity lies. The you that shows up to work, the being, the doing, the thinking, all of that's in your subconscious mind. And so many of us don't know how to tap into it. So during my experience, during the talk, I will be leading you through a hypnosis to remove or to help you release the shame and the guilt that we innately carry as females because we are the nurturers. We hold the world up on our shoulders saying, let me give to you, let me give to you. But during my talk, I want you to come and just be. The permission to sit there for that time and just let me pamper you to help you understand that not only are you safe to show up in all your power, you don't have to feel guilty, because it's the guilt and the shame that often holds many of us back. And even if we are showing up, sometimes we're not showing up in our full capacity, in all of our power. During my talk, I will be talking specifically about the two minds, conscious, unconscious, because it's that unconscious, subconscious mind that is in control 95% of the time. Yet we think the small mind, the one that's probably taking in all the information right now actively, guys, that's only accountable for 5% of who you are. 5%. That's nothing. It's that 95% superpower that is in your subconscious, unconscious mind that's dictating everything you do, everything you be. And when we start to tap into it and we rewire, reprogram that part of you, you automatically get the permission to show up boldly, empowered, confidently, so that when you are talking, whether as a small business owner, entrepreneur, you bring all of your robust personality and you allow it to shine, knowing that you have a mission. There's a calling on you, or else you would not be here with us right now. So why not fully embrace it? Why not say, I'm here, this is how I'm going to help you. And in return, not only are you making a greater impact, but you get to make greater income. So again, I am 𝐷𝐨, and my talk on March 21st, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, think of it as your permission slip to show up unapologetically, to step into your power, and to make that impact that you know you're here to make. Because as women, we get to hold up the world while also showing up for ourselves. It is not an or mentality, it is and. And the power of that and is so crucial. And the faster you can start to accept it by reprogramming your subconscious mind, the greater impact and greater income you get to make. And in between now and then, I invite you to connect with me for sure. I am across all social media as 𝐷𝐨, and I am so excited for this. Thank you so much, Ray, for having this platform and allowing me to be one of your showcase speakers.
Oh, thank you, Shetali. Thank you so much for doing the work that you do. I love when you speak, you really light up, and the work that you're doing is just so important. So thank you for being here and holding space for our women to grow and heal and be really authentically themselves and step into the power of who they're meant to be.
Thank you so much. I am so excited for the whole talk, and just for they're all going to leave this summit different than when they came in, 100%.
I know. Honestly, I know. I see this every year when we do this, and day by day, as the summit kind of comes to an end, the energy has shifted. So many transformations has happened in the whole process, and I'm grateful to do what we do. And sometimes the things that we do, right, it seems like invisible. And
Yes.
at the time, you don't know what's happening. Like, you don't know, is this going to work? It seems a bit silly. It's just a meditation. Like, how can it be so life-changing? Or, attending somebody's talk. But genuinely, I know that this changes lives. And I know your work as well. It's at a root level.
Thank you so much. Just as a speaker, I have changed so much in the process. So I can't even imagine in a month's time how much more power I'm going to bring to it. So I'm very excited.
Yeah. Thank you, Shetali. Look forward to
Thank
seeing you on the
you.
summit.
Thank you.
I just removed myself. Appreciate it. Oh my God. Stop pressing buttons, Ray. Stop it. Trust the tech team. We've got amazing team behind the scenes. So stop toggling. I just tell myself that. All right. Sometimes we don't have to be doing everything right in our own businesses. Sometimes we just have to hold faith that your team and those around you will support you. Speaking of which, I am about to call on a wonderful lady onto the stage who is super amazing, inspirational. The first time she took this showcase, she really blew me away by her magic, by her voice. And in the last few months, we've got to know her much more because she is actually the initiator of our new event that we're doing in Australia and Brisbane. And just observing her and her magic and in her power and in her femininity has been just absolute joy. So I am super excited to welcome our next speaker, who is Marie Ferguson, who is a feminine embodiment coach, a youth empowerment mentor, and Marie adeptly guides women, children, and teens towards a lasting transformation. Her holistic approach merges psychology, leadership development, mindfulness, and fostering personal growth. Well, we headed over to Australia. Good morning, Marie. How are you?
Hi, Ray. I'm great, thank you. I am outdoors. It's a beautiful morning. Can you hear me all okay on your end?
Yes, we can. So good to
Beautiful.
see you. Well, over to you because I know you're going to bring some magic for us.
Oh, thank you. Hello, amazing women. Oh, it's such a beautiful day here. And there were some days in my life where it would be just like this, but I would wake up and I'd feel dread in my stomach. And I would feel a doubt in my mind and this quivering energy that stopped me from getting out of bed. And this feeling of embracing the joy, embracing the good things that I had in life, my beautiful husband, my daughter, the amazing home I had all these amazing, beautiful gifts. But at this point in my life, I didn't appreciate it. I didn't understand why I was feeling this grief and this loss. And for me, my journey started with stepping into this part of myself now in a really dark place. And I've loved the beautiful shares that the ladies have shared today. And for me, I had 3 miscarriages back to back in a 9-month period. And so these thoughts, these feelings, these judgments, this sense of shame, guilt, unworthiness that was exuding through my body and physically, crippling me from actually getting out of bed, enjoying my life. And there was a decision I made in that time where I remember sleeping. Well, actually, I couldn't sleep. It was almost like I had insomnia. I could hear these thoughts. I'd just gone through this big grieving process. And something was screaming inside my mind just to stop. And part of me thought, is it to end my life? Is it to just give up? And that depth of the darkness, this dark night of the soul that we hear people talk about, this was a catalyst for me. This was a catalyst and a changing point for me to decide to not feel that way anymore, to not allow these parts of myself that seem to have taken control and take over my body to notice and to change the trajectory of my life. And so in listening to that voice, coming back to my heart, coming back to my body, coming back to understanding my energy and knowing that this is not what I want to be. This is not the mother I want to be. This is not the wife. This is not the person. I didn't even know who this person was. And to know that end of, well, this is what I don't want. So what is it that I do want? What do I want to show up in my life? Like, how can I rise in the morning and appreciate the beautiful surroundings, appreciate and love my family, and most of all, appreciate and love myself? So self-love and compassion and coming back to my body and understanding my emotional intelligence, understanding my emotions, and understanding my feminine energy was a really powerful catalyst that led me to where I am today. And so today, I stand here with my crown on my head in nature, embracing it all. And my family is still asleep in bed. I put on this beautiful dress. I put on this beautiful makeup because I choose to rise into my greatness. And the talk that I'm going to be sharing with you at the summit that I'm doing on Tuesday, the 19th of March, is called Claiming Your Crown of Wisdom, Embracing Your Divine Feminine Leadership. And so that divine feminine leadership part, I had to understand my energy. So understanding that the feminine energy that I had, we've got both feminine and masculine energy, and like yin and yang, you know, light and dark. This world is a world of duality. But I had suppressed my feelings. I had suppressed my body. I had suppressed my emotions, and I stopped listening to the wisdom. And that's why that voice was yelling at me, and that voice was my soul. That voice was telling me to wake up. And I was quite a conscious and aware person then. And that voice was saying, rest, listen deeply, get back in touch with nature, get back in touch with your body, get back in touch with the wisdom and the fire in your belly, and find out who you are born to be. And finding out who I was born to be came a lot of shadows, came a lot of being in the darkness, being in the mud, being in numbness, and learning how to ground myself. So today I stand here barefoot in a beautiful dress. Today I stand here and grounding myself in my breath, in my voice, and in the power of my body. And so in this beautiful talk that I'm going to share with you, understanding our energy, understanding our feminine flow, because we as women are cyclical beings. We're in tune with nature. If we think about our menstrual flow and cycle, we are on a monthly cycle. And in that month, our energy can change and shift. You know, when we think about when we go into our menstruation and our bleed, we're very tired because our body is working so hard to shed. Our body is working so hard to release. And when we come out of that phase, we go into the maiden phase. We're feeling renewed energy. We're feeling vibrant. You know, new inspiration is coming through. And then as we're ovulating, we come into the mother phase. And that mother phase is the best time to manifest. So if you're a business owner and you've got new ideas and you want to take aligned action in that ovulation phase of your cycle, and I can attest to that because I see many women that are in this energy that also tap into the energetics of their flow and put that into their business, put that into their relationships. And after that mother phase, we go into the wild wise woman. And that wildness, that energy, the hormones are increasing because it's getting ready to shed. And a lot of people put a lot of shame when women are in that that phase of getting ready to go into our cycle. But our heightened emotions are up. You know, we can become, you know, more in our senses. And I want to bring to the world, and I want to bring to women, and I want to bring to girls that this understanding of our energy in our body is not to be shamed. This is a power, and this is a superpower. And if we can use our energy in a way to master self and to master how we show up in relationships, how we learn to love all of ourselves and be so deeply devoted to that self-mastery, that self-compassion, because the longest relationship we're ever going to have with anybody is with ourselves. Then imagine a world where women, teens, and young girls are celebrating each other more. And this space and this platform is the perfect place that is demonstrating this now. And I am a mother of a daughter. My daughter is almost 8. And as I was going through that transition and working with teenage girls in high school, I was like, imagine these women, these young girls being able to rise into their greatness earlier. Let's remove the confidence issues. Let's remove the self-esteem, and let's bring back that power, that magnetism, those rites of passage that we as women claim and own. And that is magnetic. That is powerful. And this is how I show up in my intimate relationships. This is how I show up in my friendships, in business, in that authentic, grounded, magnetic part of myself. So if you're keen to come to this chat, come along. I'd love to share these insights, share beautiful techniques to actually come back into your body and reclaim your crown. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, giving you your flowers, Marie. Oh, you're so gorgeous. Thank you so, so much for sharing from your heart, from your inner wisdom, from your empowered self, stepping into your greatness, which I know has not always been easy. And you have overcome so many challenges to be now the inspiration and testimony for everyone else. And I was watching this chat and I'm like, oh my God, you're touching the hearts and souls. And sometimes we just need to tap into that heart space and feel. And that's what I saw you when you were preparing for your talk. You're just holding that space. You're like, okay, setting the intention. And that's what happens when we create these much deeper, more embodied relationships. And I love what you just shared. Thank you so, so much, Marie. Before you go, we have something special coming up 2nd of March, which we've been preparing, and you've been the spearhead behind this massive project. Let us know what you have been working on.
Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful initiative, actually inspired by you, Ray, because Thrive Talks that you started last year in Valencia, I saw that inspiration. I saw this vision and I was like, we could do that here in Australia. And I wanted to have a platform where I wanted to share my story. And it was like, well, we've got these amazing women. Let's link it to International Women's Day. And so in Greater Springfield, so if you're in the Brisbane, Ipswich, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast area, come along, ladies, because this is the first time it's being launched overseas here in Australia. And we have a phenomenal lineup of women that is part of the Thrive family here. And it's so exciting to have a space, have a platform. We have amazing gifts and donations and sponsorships. We have a beautiful, beautiful venue at Brighton Homes Arena, which here in Australia is the home of the AFLW, the Football League for women. And for women to have the same rights as the men in the sporting world was something that really touched my heart, that there was spaces created like this in the sporting realm for women in sport in these parts. And I found it, and we're doing it there. So if you're local, come along and support us. I'd love to see you there on Saturday, the 2nd of March.
Thanks, Marie. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the hard work you've been putting in. You got us on in the media, in the radio. You put a word out to the local community, the local MPs, and people are really talking about it. And tickets are getting booked up. So if you happen to be in Australia, 2nd of March, do make sure you tune into this incredible event. Marie, thank you so much for your heart and the beautiful presence that you bring to the stage. As you see, our ladies are on fire. They are here to empower you, inspire you, and share their true testimonies of their own transformations in life and speak from experience and a place of a true embodiment. I'm really, really proud of the speakers that we bring to our stage. And if you're seeing just 11 of the 50 plus speakers that we have on our stage, to be here, these ladies have been selected from over 1,000 applications that we had last year to speak on our stage. That is an incredible amount of people that have had interest to speak on our stage. But these are the women who have been selected specifically to speak on this year's summit. Now, if you're feeling inspired and you want to become a speaker on our stage, perhaps next year, go ahead to womenthrivesummit.com. Have a look. What other opportunities we have? Might be speaking on our stage, maybe authoring a book, maybe being part of our magazine, or just attending our event and being inspired, being in the space of empowering, inspiring women. We have opportunities for everyone because we built this community. And I always say, I didn't build this global, beautiful community for myself. I have built this for all of us, for all the women to come together, to share a message, to have wider reach. And we're reaching more than 600,000 people all around the world. So it's just amazing, amazing platform to be part of. And as you see a little light behind me, I just put on a beautiful essence oil to really tap into my heart space as we continue on the showcase. keep the love coming. We've got a few more amazing speakers that you don't want to miss, and we saved the best for the last. All right. So make sure you stay right till the end, because honestly, this lady right at the end, she has been in the speaking world for more than 30 years. I think you're going to be blown away by what she has to share. All right. Next up, we're headed back to the UK, and my next speaker is Keely Pierce. She is the founder and CEO of I Am More Academy. Keely is an award-winning empowerment coach, transformational guide dedicated to helping mompreneurs discover their unique balance blueprint. With over 14 years of experience, Keely's transformative MAP framework empowers mompreneurs to redefine success on their own terms and thrive in harmony. And she's also a founder of a beautiful charity that she will tell us a little bit more about today. Keely, how are you?
Hi, Ray. I'm really, really good. I'm actually in another hotel. I get around a little bit. So I decided to put myself out there and go and do some face-to-face networking as part of my New Year's resolution. It wasn't necessarily to lose weight and get fit and all of those things. It was get out there, start getting in front of people face to face and build those connections in real life. So I've hidden myself in a little room and was like, thanks very much. Bye.
Oh, well, over to you, my love. I can't wait to hear what you got to share for us today.
Thank you. So in true Keely fashion, I've just kind of listened to some of the ladies I've jumped on with, and I've been inspired and blown away. So for me, I wanted to come on and share a little bit about my talk. So Thursday, the 21st of March at 10 a.m. UK time, I will be sharing my story and my talk on the mompreneur's journey. So it's everything about life balance, success, and self-mastery. However, there is a however. The ladies who have been on before me have absolutely inspired me to tell you about my why, the reason that I Am More Academy become a thing from the beginning. So I haven't actually shared, and I don't really highlight the fact that my childhood was full of trauma, adversities, and we'll call it hardship. I don't like to be the victim. I'm over that stage of my life. But my mum was a drug addict. There wasn't really any money. So there was a lot of poverty and crime. And here in the UK, we have something called childhood ACEs. So adverse childhood experiences. And within those statistics, it states that we children like me who have 4 or more ACEs are more likely to end up as an addict, to end up in prison, have bipolar or mental health disorders. I think the actual statistics is it knocks like 20 years off your actual life. And there is a way we can help the little people in our lives, the inner beings in ourselves even, to kind of go through that self-mastery journey to learn how to not just love ourselves, but move forward and push forward to have everything we want in whatever we define as success. And for me, I always felt that schools and the education system, especially here in the UK, I'm not sure about the rest of the world, fail our children. They fail them to prepare them for the real world. Now, I'm not saying you don't need all the stuff that they teach you, but actually life skills are key. They're the key to everything, not just our relationships, our careers, everything. And it was in this sliding doors moment where I was at a Tony Robbins event, and I'd wrote several pages of notes over this weekend. Like the notes went on and on and on. And I came across this note a few years ago, and it said, my mission in life is to help a child just like me to know that they are enough and they can achieve anything they want to achieve. And not just that, but if I fail that mission, then it's thousands of souls lost. And in that moment, I just had this like epiphany, I suppose, where it was totally, this is what I'm meant to do. I am the vehicle. I am here. So I Am More Academy. It really is important to me that it's called I Am More, because we are more and we are enough. And I take that message into schools and I work with young adults to empower them, to give them the life skills, to share my story, because I know that the majority of children in that room can relate to what I've got to share. And not just that, my charity, like Ray mentioned, which I'll talk about after, is supporting families who have been through miscarriage and stillbirth and bereavement, basically. And a bereavement can be an ACE, a childhood ACE, and a trauma. Now, we get that as adults, but 1 in 29 children in every single classroom is affected by bereavement. And if I can go in there and hold space for them and to use my coaching skills to support them, to give them the power that they need to move forward, then that is what I am all about. And so that's why it kind of feels like a two-pronged approach to my business, because I love working with young people, because I feel like there's so many broken adults. What about if we can get in and give them those scaffolding poles, I suppose, to give them those tools and resilience to move forward, to be able to deal things better moving forward, or to even understand, who am I? You know, that basic, who am I? What do I want? Where do I fit in this society? I'll be completely honest, Ray, I didn't put my timer on, so you might need to jump on and shut me up, because I could talk forever about this. But for me, it's kind of like we go into the journey of motherhood and we go through something called matrescence. And the key pillars in matrescence is that we lose our identity. We have a complete shift in all our relationships, and not just relationships, but our emotional well-being. Our bodies change. Everything changes. The shock, horror of becoming a mum in a positive way is kind of that feeling lost. And coming here tonight and being in this hotel, I'm here as me. I'm here as Keely Pierce, and I have come to basically make new connections, but I've come as me, not mum. The kids are at home, they've gone to bed, they're all good, they're with dad. But tonight is about, what can I do to project my business further? And we all have different definitions of success, different definitions of life balance. And that is what my talk is all about. It's all about empowering you. You are unique. You have your own individual thoughts, feelings, wants, desires, and you can absolutely have it all. And our past doesn't have to define us. We are cycle breakers. We can do anything we want. But the key, and the absolute key, is that you have to invest in your own self-mastery journey. And that journey is completely ongoing. It's a lifelong commitment to change to yourself. And it's kind of scary to think of who I was, as some of the ladies have said, before we even started this process of Women's Thrive, and the kind of trajectory it puts you on, and the kind of whole process in itself. This in itself has been a whole personal development journey, which is amazing and fantastic in so many levels. But what else can you do to add into your life to make that change, to make you that next level self? What is going to project you further to get everything you want? And I'm hopefully going to give you some strategies and tools to do that. So thank you, Ray.
Oh, I can just sit here and listen to you all day long, Keely.
I wasn't
I
really
don't
sure
need
how
it.
long I was talking. Sorry, I completely bypassed the timer in kind of, I was just on a high from everyone's talks, and I was like, oh my God, this is what I'm going to talk about tonight.
That's it. You know, you just need to bring yourself and channel your true essence in on stage. And that's what I personally love to do. Just really tap into my heart and share, because we already know deep down, and as you're doing the empowerment work, deep down, you know what your mission is. Deep down, you know why you're here, how you serve, and your knowledge. You know, you just have to tap in, and nothing needs to be scripted. So, Keely, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I know you're doing really incredible work in the world. Tell us a little bit more about the charity.
Okay, so my charity is called the Last Kiss Foundation, and we there's only 2 of us, so we do what we can when we can, and we've been founded for the last 8 years. And in that time, we've helped support hospitals and healthcare places to have all of the equipment that they may not have the funding to access to. So whether that's kind of a double bed, so when you've lost a baby, you don't want one partner being on a chair and another in the bed and all that chaos and discomfort in a room. You want to be close, you want to be united, you want to comfort one another. And the NHS here in the UK just won't cover that. You know, it's not a priority at all. So for us as a charity to say, what can we do to comfort families at that time? And then for midwives to give us a shopping list of like their oh my God, yes, please kind of list is the ultimate kind of anything they want. We're like, okay, we'll do it. Just tell us what you want. Mm-hmm. So whether it's a double bed, whether it is providing a cuddle cot, which is basically a cooling mat. So it allows families the gift of time longer to spend with their babies, to say goodbye. Whatever it may be, we just try and do what we can to make that process a bit more comforting, and supporting also the midwives and the healthcare professionals. So we've worked with a large company to formulate a reflective practice. So it's being able to go in and do training, not to teach the midwives how to do their job, but bereavement is just something that they're not supported with at all. I think in one of the trainings we did, we had 23 midwives in the room. One of the ladies had been a midwife for 21 years. And the last time she'd done anything on bereavement or how to deal with bereavement or support families, any training, pardon me, was when she was at university, which obviously the world has changed since then. So to come in, to have a reflective practice, to give them space to reflect on their own journey and process is just, it's just really important work.
And 𝐸𝐨𝐬, it's not uncommon. We've heard, I think, from 4 speakers today who lost their babies, right? And it's a devastating experience to go through. 4 out of 11 speakers that we know of today who share this. It's really sad to hear the statistics that it's more common than we know, and to realize that perhaps the medical field is not so well equipped to support families, and these situations happen so often that I believe that your foundation is doing a crucial work to support the medical staff and also the families. That it's such a devastating time, and if we don't have the tools to deal with it, whether personally, internally, or whether at a front line where all of this is happening, we can't just sweep it under the carpet and say it's not happening, right? A lot of the speakers on our stage have shared, I've been through it and I just went back to work because I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to address, I didn't know how to deal with the emotions. I was not equipped. And it's incredible to think that in this day and age that the support is not quite there where it needs to be. So I believe that your foundation is doing something massively important and it needs to be spotlighted. I want to talk about it. I want to make sure that we're bringing awareness to what you're doing. And if there is any way that our audience can support it, please share it in the chat or let us know how can we support you, 𝐸𝐨𝐬.
Thank you. I will. I'll have a little ponder. I will put the details in the chat too, but I'll have a little ponder if there's anything across the pond or anything, that can help kind of us here in the UK. It would just be amazing. And part of the work that I do is setting up another charity called the Wings of Change Foundation as like a charitable arm of I Am More Academy. And because when you work within a charity, you're very restricted to regulations and obviously your constitution. So the ability to transfer that training over to a new charity means that we can take that globally. So it's not a closed door that I can't necessarily come over to Australia and do some work, or wherever it may be. So there's so much going on in the background and so much opportunity. It's really, really exciting. So thank you for allowing me to share that.
Thank you, 𝐸𝐨𝐬. I celebrate your strength and leadership in what you're doing. Keep persevering. I know you're out there at the front line doing amazing work, and these connections you're making, I hope they are going to support you in your growth and bringing all of these visions to life. So I appreciate you so much, 𝐸𝐨𝐬. Oh my goodness. And as you see, we bring together women from all walks of life with sometimes similar goals and missions. Like you've met Marie and you met 𝐸𝐨𝐬, who both work on the empowerment of other women. But there is no competition in this space. And I say that there is so much more that unites us than separates us. And as you get to hear these amazing stories of women overcoming adversity, going through loss, going through trauma, you start to realize that actually, if there are some things going on in your life, you probably can relate to other people more so. And it's by creating these spaces, by creating this safe stage for us to share vulnerably, to talk about our experiences, our missions in life, that we get to really realize that we're not alone. And if you're on a quest of making a change, making a difference in this world, guess what? There are other people who with a similar mission in life whom you may be able to connect with, to collaborate with, to build relationships with, and join forces, just as we have done, with our community members, with our speakers. We locked our hands together and we are together on the same mission to empower our audience, our women, our global communities to have access to these support, to the resources, to the community, to knowledge, ability to share these experiences so you don't have to feel alone in this quest in life. Because trust me, I know how lonely it can be, whether you are on a motherhood journey, whether you're pursuing a business, whether you're pursuing a career. Being alone, it just feels, very isolating. And sometimes you just need a safe space to say, hey, this is what I'm going through as well. Now, next up, I have another amazing woman in the wings waiting to share her incredible story of overcoming immune disease. So Melissa Rose is a functional medicine practitioner specializing in autoimmune disease, complex illness, mystery illness, and rare autoimmune conditions. With over 1,000 clients served, Melissa has established herself as a high-level practitioner for advanced autoimmune clients at Sagebrush Wellness and Autoimmune Recovery.org. I had to be very careful to say that. Melissa, great to have you.
Oh, thank you, Ray. I appreciate it. I'm so excited to be here.
Me too, Melissa. Every time you speak, audience really leans forward. And I've seen, I don't know what you do on this stage, but you really magnetize people in the audience. So I can't wait to hear what you got to say today.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I'm excited to join you today. And thank you for each of you that are here. In the summit, I'm going to be sharing about my story, but also really leaning in with you to help you understand how much choice and how much power you have in being able to unravel what's happening in your body. So let me tell you just a little about who I am. I started out my life similar to a lot of our other speakers, having a lot of trauma and things going on in my growing up years. And that started a trajectory of an autoimmune disease for me that ended up in a diagnosis when I was 33 of multiple sclerosis. So at that time, my left side didn't work. Like I had no feeling in any of my left side. My right side was going numb as well. I was one scared mama. I had 3 little boys. I had 2 businesses that I had started. They were going so well, but my body just kept getting worse and worse to the point where just to walk across the floor carrying a basket of laundry, I had to either hold on to one of my kids or just kind of walk along the edge of the house, going from the table to the chairs to the wall, trying to navigate my world, falling a lot. So very scared because before my diagnosis, I had no idea what was going on with me. Most of the gals in my family had MS, so I highly suspected that was what I had. The symptoms were just kind of following what I had seen already, especially for my mom. And I remember when I went in finally to get a diagnosis, like I'd been poked and prodded. I felt like a pincushion, having undergone so many tests for about 2 years span, going to see specialists and everything. I was finally going to get to find out what I had. So my husband helped me walk into the appointment, and some of the very first words the doctor said were, "I'm sorry, Melissa, but you have multiple sclerosis." And like my brain froze, my world froze. I really didn't hear a whole lot after that because I knew exactly what that meant. I knew what the trajectory was going to look like for me, very likely. And in all of the appointments and all the specialists that I'd seen, no one had said anything about, you can understand and find out what is actually causing this in your body and address it, and you might get better.
There was no breath of that. So in the appointment with my neurologist, he shared with me, I was 33 at the time. He's like, by the time you're 45, very likely you will be bedridden and you'll be lucky to get to age 50. I'm 47, completely recovered. And in my recovery journey, I'm kind of skipping ahead, but in my recovery journey, I was able to really unravel with the help of a brilliant practitioner that does much what I do today, helped me unravel what was causing the MS in my body. And I started to get better. It took me about 2.5 years for my last symptoms to fall away sustainably. And at that point, I was like, okay, this is cool. How long is this going to last? But as my body continued to get better and better, and I started to trust my body again, I started to think, oh my goodness, how can I help other women, other people figure out how to be well? And went back to school and have been in school pretty much since then. But really, really working on how to help people unravel what's going on in their bodies. And one of the key things that I discovered was that our bodies never, and please hear me, our bodies never, ever do anything without a reason. They want to be well and whole and vibrant as much as you do. So when we uncover what's actually causing the dis-ease in our bodies, we get to turn that around. Our bodies get a chance to become fully well. As a result of my illness, I closed one business and sold the other because I couldn't keep up with it. I mean, it just was too much. Now, as a practitioner, my team and I serve people all over the US as well as internationally. We've been able to serve so many folks, helping them really get to the bottom of what's causing their dis-ease and change that. That is why I breathe. That's why I get up in the morning. We don't have to be sick. We can understand what's causing that and address it very, very well. So that's what I'm going to talk about in the summit. I'll be speaking March 18th at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I'm so excited to just dive into this with you because we've been told and taught as a society that if you're diagnosed with an autoimmune condition, get ready to get sicker. The best we can do is slow down the process or the progression of the dis-ease or manage the symptoms with medication. There's no hope out there talked about for recovery from an autoimmune condition. But I'm here to tell you that we can be well. So I'll be chatting. The name of my talk is From Struggle to Strength, Unleashing the Power of Recovery from Autoimmune Disease. And I'll be sharing some of the key points that you can use, actually 5 key points, places you can start to begin unraveling what's going on for you. I would also like today to invite you to experience one of our free tools. It's called a functional health assessment. I'm going to share the link to that in the chat, but please access that. That is like all of our clients start there, filling out the functional health assessment, because in that assessment, you're able to then, just using symptoms that are happening in your world right now, you're able to pinpoint the top 3 areas of concern for yourself so you can have a starting place. You're no longer just like, oh, what am I doing and where do I even start? You have some solid places to begin.
Melissa, thank you so much for sharing your incredible journey, and kudos to you for doing what you do today, this quest that you're on to support others and the important work you're doing. You're really building an incredible platform to support other people, and I just want to celebrate for your commitment to your vision and the work that you're doing, and I know you're helping thousands of people.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. This was one of our speakers for the Women Thrive Summit. We've got one more speaker in the wings, and I can't wait to bring her on because she is truly such an inspirational woman. She's been in this industry for many years. She's wrote many incredible books, spoken on many international stages, creating a huge impact, and she's a true inspiration for many people all around the world. She also has featured majority of our speakers on her TV program that she has in Las Vegas. And she's been such a cheerleader of all of our speakers and is here to share her story. So next up is Judy Morio. She's an internationally acclaimed personal growth trainer, a coach who stands as a beacon of inspiration in the realm of self-improvement. Renowned for her profound expertise and experience and has authored an impressive collection of 24 books, 2 of which have attained international best-selling status. It doesn't even do justice for what Judy does in this world, but I want to bring her up on stage. Judy, welcome. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much. Can you see me all right? The light was good, and then it just kind of went dark.
Yeah, we can see you, Judy, as long as we can hear you.
Oh, it's so wonderful to be here. Thank you, Ray, for having me on. I'm really excited. I was blown away by how good all the other speakers are. I've just been sitting here going, wow, wow, wow. So this is quite an honor to be a part of it. So thank you for having me here.
It certainly speaks volumes coming from you, Judy, who has trained many speakers for various platforms, and you've been speaking for decades. So it certainly is an honor to have you here today. And I can't wait to just sit back and hear you speak today. So over to you, Mala.
Thank you. Hello, everybody, and thank you for being here. This is such an exciting adventure to be on. And I want to share with you, I'm going to be speaking on March the 18th on the subject of You Are More Than Enough, which is based on my book. I have this book, You Are More Than Enough, Every Woman's Guide to Purpose, Passion, and Power. And so it is based on that. But this morning, I want to ask you some questions. And when I ask you the question, would you just, if your answer is yes, would you just put a 1 over in the chat so I can see if you felt that way at any time? I was at a luncheon not too long ago, and this lady was sitting next to me, and she leaned over and said, "How does it feel to be somebody?" And I asked her, I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, I've never been somebody. I just wonder what it would be like to be somebody." And I was just like mortified that she wouldn't think she was somebody. She was this beautiful, lovely woman. And I said to her, "You are somebody. We have to talk about this. You are somebody. You're somebody very important." Have you ever felt like that? Have you ever felt like, I would like to be somebody? I feel less than. I don't feel like I'm enough. Have you ever thought that you would have been more, or you should have been more, if only, let's say, if only you'd have married a different person, if only you'd have had different parents, if only you'd have gone to a different school. We sit around and we think, I could have been more, if only. But the thing we have to realize is we are who we are, and we are more than enough. We are more than enough, exactly like who we are. We got to be who we are based on our circumstances that we were born into, that we had no control over, but then over the choices that we made over our life. And a lot of that had to do with our upbringing and how we were educated. I have to tell you, I was born an ugly redheaded child. And as a little kid, I was a freckle-faced, ugly little redheaded child. But my parents and everybody that saw me, they thought red hair was the greatest thing in the world. And all they could talk about was how cute I was. My life was focused around hair. I mean, my mother made me wear green clothes and blue clothes. I couldn't wear pink or yellow or red because I had red hair. It got to be like an obsession with everybody, this hair thing. And then it got to be that with me. I had to have my hair looking perfect all the time. And I want to tell you, as a teenager, my hair wasn't doing what I thought it should, and I threw a fit. I mean, I threw a major fit. I even threw my hairbrush across the room. And at that point, my dad said, young lady, you come into the kitchen and sit down. We're going to have a little talk with you about your attitude. And I thought, uh-oh, I've really done it this time. He's going to kill me. But what my dad wanted me to do was he sat me down and he said, let's talk about what you'd like your tombstone to say. Ooh, I knew he was going to kill me for sure. He said, no, honey, it's how would you like to be remembered? What would you like people to remember about you? He said, you have to live your life so that people will remember what you want them to remember. So that afternoon, we sat there for 4 hours and we talked about purpose and what my purpose was. And he said, I don't think you want to be remembered for having the greatest hair on earth. And I don't think you want to be remembered for, these fits that you throw. So let's talk about it. What is important enough that you want to be remembered? And that day we wrote, I'd like to be remembered that my life was so positive that when people think about me after I'm gone, they will have a positive feeling. They will remember me in a positive way. And my dad said, if you know your purpose, if you know that, you have a North Star, and all your life you will follow that North Star. And when anybody asks you to do anything that doesn't go with what you believe, what doesn't go with your purpose, then it'll be so easy to say no. You can say, no, that doesn't fit in with my purpose. That doesn't fit in with how I want to be remembered. So, what is your purpose? Have you determined that yet? That's one of the things I do. I help people discover their purpose. I help people know why they're here. Why did God put you on this earth? If you're struggling with that, talk to me because I can help you with that. I won't give you a lecture like my dad did, but I will give you a gold star. And that's one of the other things we laugh about today is that I collect gold stars. I have gold star earrings and gold star jewelry and gold stars in all of my journals. When I journal, I put a gold star when I have a good day. And that came again from my dad when I was 16 years old. He taught me that you write in your diary what's going on. And then if you have a good day, you put a gold star. And that way, when you're having days that aren't so good, then what you do is you flip through your book and you see all the days that had gold stars and you go, well, they aren't all like this. Most of them are pretty good. And so that gold star philosophy has just stuck with me throughout my whole life. And when I designed my achievement journal, one of the things I put in the back of it for people is pages and pages of all sizes and shapes of peel and stick gold stars so they can stick them throughout their journal as they achieve. You see, you've got to give yourself rewards for achieving. We do so much for other people. We take care of our families. We take care of the husband. We take care of the children. We take care of mom. We take care of dad. We take care of the neighbors. Sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves. And so one of the things you need to do is give yourself a reward when you've had a really good day. I want to share with you that when I started my business in 1970, I only had $2,000. And about a week after I started my business, they had like a strike on the Las Vegas Strip. And it was the first time in the history of Las Vegas that they turned off all the lights on the Las Vegas Strip and all the hotels were closed. And so the services that I offered to hotels and to families of people who work in the hotels, those services I couldn't offer to them because they were all out of work. They didn't have any money. And I'd only been open for 3 weeks and I couldn't get an income. And so at the end of the month, the first month when I had to pay my rent, I was out of money. So I went to my landlord and I said to my landlord, we have a problem, you and I. I said, it's the end of the month. It's time for me to pay the next month's rent. And I don't have any money. So I can't pay the rent. So what am I going to do now? And he said, young lady, the man next door bet me that you wouldn't make it in business 6 months. And I bet him you would. He said, if you can hang in there for 6 months, we'll make enough money on this bet that'll more than pay for your rent. And guess what? I hung in there for 6 months and 28 years later, I sold my business for cash, the first business. I was fortunate in my life that I had many mentors and people like that, but I also have had some problems along the way, some challenges. I try not to focus on those. I try to always focus forward. My dad always said, focus forward, never look back, keep focusing forward. But I want to share just with you, and I'll do it real briefly, a story about my brother. My business had over 900 employees, and we were doing very well. And then my brother was in a major accident. He was riding his motorcycle down a South Texas road, and some guys in a pickup truck were sitting on a side road. And my brother said as he was riding his motorcycle, he saw that truck idling there, but he didn't think much about it. But as he got in front of them, that truck pulled out and hit him broadside. And they left my brother on the highway to die. And we don't know who found my brother. We don't know how long he laid there. We know that the Flight for Life helicopter is what took him to the Veterans Hospital in Houston, Texas. And he was in that hospital for 5 years. He lost his legs. He lost the use of his arm. His spine was crushed. And he had been very negative before he went into the hospital, but now he was even worse after 5 years. And I come from a large family of girls. We had one boy, my brother. And so when it came time to get him out of the hospital and somebody had to take care of him, they all said, okay, we're going to draw straws. And guess who drew the short straw? Me. And so my brother came to live with me. And he was not in very good sorts. His personality was not very good at all. He complained and moaned and hollered and carried on, and he wouldn't get out of the wheelchair, and he wouldn't try to walk on artificial limbs. And it was so difficult. And I'd come home every night with my little cheery affirmations trying to cheer him up. And one night I came home and he said, I tell you what, I'll come to work in your office. Oh, good, right? So I took this rotten apple and I put him in the middle of a bunch of bright, shiny apples because he's my brother and he wanted to work, right? So I put him to work, and he came to work there in the office, and he told everybody what was wrong with them. He went through that office like you could not believe, just complaining and telling everybody what was wrong. But we had one employee that worked there, Robert, and Robert was very different than my brother. You've got a picture of my brother, the motorcycle guy with the tattoos and the beard and all. Well, this guy that worked for me, Robert, he wore pink pants tucked in magenta suede knee boots, pink shirts, ascots, bleach blonde hair, pink tips, pink earring. And he used to go in my brother's room and he would say, hi, honey, how are you? How you doing today? And my brother would tell him to get out of there and call him names. And the story goes on for quite a while about this interaction between the two of them. But one day he went in there and he said to my brother, how are you? I love your pretty little smile. Of course, my brother never smiled. And my brother started to laugh and he said, Robert, don't you ever give up? And Robert said, you never give up on someone who's worth it, and you're worth it. That's the day I saw my brother turn around. That's the day I saw him start to develop a good attitude about life. And before he died, he had become an inspiration for many people. He would go to the Veterans Hospital. He would help veterans learn how to drive a car because he had learned. He'd help them learn how to walk because he had learned. And he made a major difference in people's lives. And as he was passing away, I sat on his bedside and I said, boy, that accident of yours was tough on all of us, wasn't it? And he said, no, it was the best thing that ever happened to me, Judy, because it made me learn to get along with people different than me. And it taught me that it's not what happens to you, but what you do about it that makes the difference. So as I leave you today, I want to leave you with a little poem. It goes like this. When you get discouraged and you forget to believe in the work you have chosen to do, and when you let the advice of too many people change your point of view, and when your spirit is weak and too many sleepless nights are getting you down, listen to the voice in the back of your head. It'll turn your thoughts around. It'll say you're one of a kind, one of a kind. There's no one exactly like you. And if you can believe it, you can achieve it. anything you want to do. You are more than enough.
Judy, just listening and just holding my breath, hanging on to literally every word you were sharing and all these incredible and inspirational stories. And what a story about your brother that completely changed his life. And just want to celebrate your strength and your tenacity to do what you do and support others in your life and give everyone a gold star for their, seeing the best in people. This is what you do so well. You see the best in people, you celebrate them, you uplift them, and you always have a positive word to say. So, Judy, just thank you for everything that you do, everything that you are. And, for people who have had such a life as you are, you're just so humble and you still continue to persevere in your life and do these amazing things. I know you have had challenges over the last few years with your own health and, there was a moment in your life where you felt like giving up. But here you are today to share your inspiration, to be the testimony to other people. And please don't ever stop shining your light. Don't ever stop sharing your beautiful stories because we truly, truly value your presence on this stage and beyond.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's really, really an honor to be here. I'm looking forward to March 18th.
Yeah. Make sure you join Judy's talk on March 18th. I believe you're closing speaker for the day. It's going to be phenomenal. And all of you need to go and grab her book. Show us your book again, Judy, so people don't forget. Beautiful. Yes.
You're more than enough. Every woman's guide to purpose, passion, and power.
Amazing. How do people connect with you?
Judy Morio at yahoo.com, or I'm all over social media. My name is spelled with an I, Judy with an I, and Morio is like Oreo cookies with an M. So they can get me Judy at judymorio.com, or they can find me on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn. I'm everywhere.
So, Judy, you're one of the people who have interviewed the majority of our speakers on our platform. What stood out for you about the women who we got speaking on our summit, and perhaps why people should tune in?
Well, the thing I love about the women on the summit, and especially the ones that I've interviewed on my show, is that they're real. They're sharing their real stories. This is not like, I know a lot of speakers because I've been speaking for a long time. This is not like a speaker that went out and learned a presentation and came and did it. These people are telling their real stories about their own life, and they're doing it because they don't want you to have to go through what they've been through. And it's amazing. I've never met such a wonderful group of people. And this year that I've spent with you and with them has made a major difference in my life. And it's interesting because a lot of people, even you, said you didn't think I would join because of my speaking background, but I wanted to be around people like this. They're positive, they're motivated, they're always wanting to be their best and to learn something new. I believe in lifelong learning. I had a lady the other day said to me, "You seem to know so much." And I said, "Well, I believe in lifelong learning, and I've lived a long, long time." And she started laughing, but that's what these people do. They're all learning something every day, and they're collaborating and supporting each other and believing in each other. And I've been pushing that for 50 years. I've been trying to get people to do that. And it's so exciting to see that they are doing it, that the young women that are in this world today are just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. I don't want to let you go, Judy, yet. Because you're just such an epic woman. Can I just say, I'm so proud of our cover of the magazine, which you're on as well. And these are all the amazing women, and we've got more, but some of the women who will be headlining on the summit this year. Judy, I know you also have your own magazine where you feature stories. Tell us a little bit more about your magazine.
Oh, thank you. I have a magazine entitled Choices, and you can find it on choicesonlinemedia.com under magazine. I also have my TV show there, and my podcast is going up there very soon. But Choices Magazine is really the official publication of the Women Entrepreneurs Association. And most of the women that write for it are entrepreneurs, and we have incredibly good articles and articles, not just motivational articles, but very informational articles about what we need as women entrepreneurs to go forward. I only have one man I allow to write for the magazine, and that's because he's a cybersecurity expert. But the rest are all women writers, and quite a few of the women here today wrote for the magazine last month, so we were really thrilled about that. The magazine's been out for about 7 years, and everyone says that last month's magazine was the best out of all of the issues that we've come out with. So that's choicesonlinemedia.com, and you can find the magazine there.
And I know it's going out into global distribution, so it might be reaching your shops locally very soon. So,
yes.
Judy,
and yours is too. And yours is too. Be sure to tell them that they're going to find your magazine all over the world. It's exciting.
Yes, thanks to you, Judy. Our incredible magazine, Women Thrive, will be headed out to global distribution channels digitally as well as in print. So you might find it in airports or newsstands or libraries close to you. And absolutely, thank you so much, Judy, for, that's what happens when we collaborate. And I've been so blessed to have you on our platform this year, and your tenacity to bring all of these women onto your stage, support them, shine a light. And I think that's the power when we collaborate and shine the spotlight on each other. We just can create much bigger ripple effect.
Most definitely. And I thank God every day for putting you in my life.
Thank you, Judy. You're amazing. I'm so inspired by you, and we can't wait to see you on the summit.
I'll be there. Thank you.
Thank you. This is Judy Morio. Make sure you connect with her on her website, as well as get a copy of her book, You're More Than Enough. I hope you have been inspired, motivated, moved today by our incredible speakers. This is just a snippet of what we've got coming up at the Women Thrive Summit coming up in March, happening 18th to the 22nd of March. Make sure you clear your diary, save your spot, choose your favorite talks that you want to be attending. It is going to be held on Zoom and held live and virtually. So that means you can tap in from anywhere in the world. The tickets are free, so there is no reason for you not to attend, and all of our speakers are bringing their own wonderful gifts and resources for each and every one of you. We cover topics on confidence building, leadership. We talk about love and relationships and finances and business, visibility. It is truly a holistic approach to life and success. Thank you all so much for being here. I want to say huge thanks to our team behind the scenes who help us to make all of this happen. And we have quite a few team members from all around the world, whether they are editing our podcasts, creating our social media posts, supporting our amazing speakers, doing the production work. We also have a group of interns who are still learning and putting their skills to test. And honestly, I've been in this business since 2017, and my true passion is creating events like this. And when we're gearing up towards the summit, so many people ask me, isn't it tiring? Aren't you exhausted? You've got so much that you're doing. And honestly, I say that imagine seeing all of these amazing people that I am surrounded by, that I am inspired by. Every day I wake up and I got renewal of energy and drive, because I know that in the end of the day, by the work that we're doing, we're creating a ripple effect. We're creating a true impact. We're inspiring people. We're changing lives. And at the end of the summit, I get to hear messages and phone calls and beautiful testimonials of how our summit, our speakers have changed lives of other people. And truthfully, that is the most rewarding work that I could ever be doing, apart from also being a mom, a new mom this year. It's just really, really inspiring. So I hope that if you've joined this showcase and you're still here, what I want you to do is invite other people to be part of our summit as well. This is free event. It's open to everyone from all parts of the world to join it. When you register for the summit, you will also be invited to a private community where you can connect with other people. Like I said, we have some goodie bags. We've got some incredible free gifts and resources for all of you to enjoy. And of course, if you want to support us, why not grab yourself a paid ticket that will support our team and our production, as well as register yourself for a print copy of the Women Thrive magazine. If you head over to Women Thrive magazine, grab yourself this beautiful issue because it's going out in print. It's just started shipping this week. I received 150 copies myself, and I'll be speaking at an International Women's Day event here in Spain. And it's been distributed all around the world, from Australia to Europe to United States and Canada and Caribbean, all parts of the world. So this is a global distribution of this magazine. Grab yourself a copy. This is a special edition featuring all of our incredible speakers. Thank you so much, Lindsay, saying that congrats on being a new mom. She's just gone to sleep. And, some things that you don't see behind the scenes, that the times when I get to cuddle her and enjoy the special time with her, the times when I'm hosting these calls and I'm having to breast pump and juggle the mom life. And, this is real life. And what Judy said, these are real people. These are not just some celebrities we put on stage that you can't relate to, that you can't find a thread that unites us. These are true, real women who have been through their own life experiences, and they're here to share from the heart and support every one of you. So thank you to all of you for listening. Thanks to all of our speakers who have shared their beautiful stories today, to all of our speakers who are participating in part of this year's summit lineup. This is the last showcase of this season, but we're going to start our showcases again in May. Make sure you tap into Women Thrive podcast, which is streaming on all all podcasting platforms. This is where you can get to know more of our speakers, their stories, connect with other women, be inspired. Whether you're driving, you're doing something at home, put our podcast on and listen to these incredible stories. And I know truly, deeply that this is going to be transformational for all. Thank you all so much for being here today, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the Women Thrive Summit. This is it from me, Raymonda Jam, the founder of the Women Thrive Media. If you feel inspired, please connect with us. I always value when we receive messages or emails from our community to say, how did you enjoy this event? And if it has left an impression on you. Thank you all so much, and we'll look forward to seeing you all very soon. Take care for now.